The Center for Truth and Justice has sharply criticized the local government election in Rivers State, calling the process a transversity of democracy and an assault on the rule of law. Obinna Francis, the group executive director, made this known during a press conference in Abuja, the nation's capital. The Center for Truth and Justice also condemned Governor Similaye Fubara for what they describe as a misuse of taxpayer money on an exercise that disregarded democratic value and aimed at consolidating power. Francis pointed out that the election was riddled with irregularities, citing a lack of transparency, accountability, and legitimacy.
Governor Fubara's disregard for the law extends to the recent conduct of a sham local government election in Rivers State. The election, which was conducted within the government house, is an embarrassment to the state and the nation as a whole. This process lacked transparency, accountability, and legitimacy. There were no observers, no genuine electoral oversight, and no opportunity for the people of Rivers State to make their voices heard. Instead, it was a coronation, not an election, a process aimed at installing Governor Fubara's puppets in key positions of power across the state. An election was conducted in the government house. I think invariably you definitely know that there will be no security and there was no elections. And because there was no election, that was why securities were not provided. If there were elections all over the state, security must have been provided. And because they have already made their plans not to hold the election as it was supposed to hold, there was no provision for security. And therefore, that was what amounted to this. It was not an election, but a selection that was done by Governor Fubara. And this is what the Center for Truth and Justice stands against. People are supposed to express their rights, their civil rights, not being differentiated by the governor. Because people that came out to vote were not given that right to vote. No electoral materials were provided for anybody, and so there was no election. So it was just a selection.
The group has called on relevant bodies, including the National Assembly, judiciary, and international organizations, to step in and help restore the rule of law in Rivers State. The Center for Truth and Justice further urged Nigerians to remain vigilant in safeguarding democracy, warning that Governor Fubara's action pose a threat to the nation's democratic progress. Stay tuned for more updates. I am Dorcas Olariwaju.